Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Faulty Doctor, and today I am giving you a gameplay on the map Villa. This is a domination game where I was playing with a full party of other YouTube beasts, and we pretty much just dominated this team straight from the beginning, so hopefully you guys will like it. And today I've seen a couple of other commentators do a similar video on sensitivity, and I think that it would be appropriate for me to do my own views on it, because I've briefly touched on sensitivity a few times in a couple of my other videos, so I thought it would be a good time now to do a full video where I truly sort of explain all the pros and cons of different levels of sensitivity for when you're playing Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty 4, World at War, whatever you play, you know, just to help you guys choose what sensitivity is right for you. So I originally played on 2 sensitivity for a few months because I played Modern Warfare 2 just casually right at the beginning when it got released, and Modern Warfare 2 is my first Call of Duty game, so I'm a pretty late comer to the series, but since then I've played it pretty frequently. But at the beginning of Modern Warfare 2 I was just interested in getting good at the game, so I didn't really bother about sensitivity that much until a couple of months in, where I slowly moved it up to 5, 7 and then eventually 10 sensitivity when I started sniping and quickscoping. So I wouldn't recommend just jumping to 10 sensitivity until you've heard all the pros and cons about it, because 10 sensitivity obviously allows you to turn around and kill people sneaking up behind you if you're in close quarters engagements, and that is probably the biggest draw for people to use a high sensitivity, as well as doing trick shots and other things like that if you want to do some crazy sort of triple spin, no scope, YY ladder shots across the map. So obviously 10 sensitivity is right for some people, but not always right for others, and on the other end of the scale you could play on 2 sensitivity all your life and also have some disadvantages there. So I'm going to start with 10 sensitivity because that's what I played on mostly. I've probably stuck to 10 sensitivity for over a year now, until I've started dropping my sensitivity again to improve my accuracy over long range. But for 10 sensitivity, the only recommendations for it are obviously to be able to turn around on people really quickly, and if you have a playstyle where you're always up in people's faces and you're just rushing around, then the higher the sensitivity the better for the most part. Also, on the other hand, if you've got a playstyle where you're really defensive, or you like picking people off with assault rifles from long range, or letting them come to you, all that sort of stuff, then probably a lower sensitivity is better for you, because it means you have a better aim, you can sort of control your gun more, you don't always move past them with your crosshairs, and it's sometimes better to have a lower sensitivity, especially if you're trying to pick off someone's head from across the map. So if you're playing with a full team like I am in this gameplay, then you always know where the other team's coming from, and probably a lower sensitivity would be a better idea. But with my rushing playstyle and sniping past, I just got used to 10 sensitivity overall, and that's why I've stuck to it until this day pretty much. But like I mentioned, if you play with a full team, you're going to know where the enemy's coming from, so you can set yourself up and just play a little bit defensively. So you're not going to need to turn around on people if you get surprised from behind, so a 10 sensitivity when you're playing with a full team and knowing where the enemy is probably not ideal. So a 2 sensitivity is obviously not the best either in my opinion, because it doesn't let you turn around quickly enough, especially if you're rushing around, and it just feels a bit too slow for me even at long range, and I would much rather use something like 5 sensitivity or 7 sensitivity. And that brings me to my next point. I think that 7 sensitivity is probably the best sensitivity overall, either 5 to 7, because that gives you enough speed in your sort of turning to be able to just spin around and catch someone if they're coming up behind you, but it also allows you to slowly sort of move your crosshairs up someone's body to shoot them in the head from long range as well, and it really seems to be the best of both worlds. I often snipe on 7 sensitivity on Black Ops if I'm not really going for any trick shots, if I just want to keep my accuracy up, because if I'm trying to snipe on Black Ops on 10 sensitivity, it really doesn't work that well unless I'm going for trick shots and stuff like that, which I also do have fun doing. But if I'm just trying to get gameplays with a sniper, then I'll use about 7 sensitivity, because it means that I can be a lot more accurate. It means I have to take a little bit more time about my shots, but it definitely increases my accuracy and makes me play better overall. So if you may have noticed, I've got my chopper gunner in my pocket now, but because of the team I'm playing with, there are chopper gunners in the air all the time, so there's no space for me to bring my chopper in. So I'll speed up the chopper when I get to it, but that's just why I'm not calling it in now, because there's always so much air support in the air when I'm playing with these people. So another thing to take into consideration when you're choosing your sensitivity is the size of your screen. Now you may be thinking, well, how does the size of your screen have anything to do with this? Well, let me explain. I play on a 22-inch HD TV and I sit pretty close to it, but it's a small enough screen that I can see the entire monitor, the entire screen, without having to move my eyes too much. So a higher sensitivity is fine for me because I can just sort of spin around and be able to take in all of the new sort of images on the screen all at once. So for example, if you do a 180 turn on a high sensitivity with a massive screen that you're sitting close to, you're going to have to take in a whole bunch of new images as soon as you spin around, and your eyes are going to be looking all over the place to try and pick up where people are. So a lower sensitivity means that you turn slower and you can pick up the images as they're going by on a larger screen. Now on a smaller screen this doesn't matter so much because obviously your eyes aren't having to do so much of the work moving around from place to place on your little monitor, and a 10 sensitivity, or a higher sensitivity at least, isn't such of a problem because your eyes can still take in all the details that they need even if you're spinning round and doing a full 180 turn. Now I hope that made sense to you because it's a pretty hard thing to explain, but if you have a massive TV that you sit pretty close to, try a lower sensitivity because then your eyes will be able to take in all of the new pictures as they come around on your screen a lot easier, and it'll definitely help your game, and you won't miss people. You won't just sort of blindly turn past people because your eyes haven't had time to pick them up. So obviously your playstyle is another thing that you have to take into account, and I've already touched on it as well. If you've got a rushing playstyle, you definitely need a high sensitivity to be able to turn on people if they spawn up behind you, and that's why I played on 10 for so long, and that's why I recommend 10 as being a good sensitivity for snipers and rushers. So your connection is obviously something that affects your gameplay a lot, but it isn't something that affects what you need to put your sensitivity to. Now, if you've got a really good connection, then it should affect your playstyle, and people with amazing connections should definitely be rushers, because if you're pulling host all the time, you have a pretty much a 1 second advantage on everyone else before they have a chance to see you because of how lag works and everything like that. And you should definitely think about rushing around all the time if you've got a really good connection, and obviously that goes hand in hand with a high sensitivity. If your connection is bad, however, and you like just sitting around the edges of the map using a silencer, then go for a low sensitivity and let the people come to you. It'll definitely improve your game. So that's all I've really got to say about sensitivity, and I've given in another couple of tips there for anyone who needs them. But I'd also like to say thank you for 50 subs. So any of you who follow my channel or who have followed my channel for a while will have probably noticed that I've been gradually increasing in subscribers for a couple of weeks now. This sort of past week my subscriber count has pretty much doubled, and for 50 subs I'd like your recommendations and suggestions for a special video. I was playing a montage, so I'm hoping you guys will look forward to that. It's going to be all of my sort of best sniper clips from my Modern Warfare 2 days, my Call of Duty 4 days. So would you like to see that, or would you like to see a standard definition montage and high definition montage? Bearing in mind all of my best clips are still when I recorded in standard definition, so if you guys don't mind that, then that's what I'll be posting. So look forward to that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys were able to take something useful out of it. I know all of these tips are things that I use every day in my game, and I hope that they can help you out as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day.